Hi Curtis, my name is Robert. I will be your clinician for today.
Hi Robert, nice to meet you.
So just before we get started, I do need to know that whatever our conversation today will remain confidential.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I know that you're in danger of harming yourself or others, or I see that there's physical or emotional or neglect or sexual abuse towards minors, elders, or those with special needs, I do need to report that to the authorities.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that?
I don't, but thank you for asking.
Okay, can I get permission to continue this conversation?
Yes, you do. I consent. Thank you
Are
for
you
asking.
okay with me taking notes during?
Yes, yes.
Sounds
You can
great.
take notes if you like.
Just before we get started with this conversation, I want us to do this kind of technique which we could relax ourselves. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I want us to just follow with me. I want us to breathe in together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I want us to take a deep breath. I want us to breathe out. Okay. Now follow with normal breaths. I want us to breathe in again one more time. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breaths. And now we're going to exhale. No more breaths. Just one more time, okay? Deep breaths. And I want you to inhale. I want you to exhale. No more breaths, okay? So I just want you to get comfortable, Curtis. Okay? So what brings you in here today, Curtis?
Well, I am worried that my girlfriend might be cheating on me, but
Okay.
I know it's a stupid thing to worry about.
Okay. Curtis, before we get started, I just want to kind of scale you. How confident do you feel about yourself right now? How confident? Like from a scale of 1 to 10, just
Like in general, I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, I would feel somewhat confident, so I'd say like maybe a 7 out of 10.
okay. So what makes you think about these thoughts? I just want to, if you can kind of help me get a better understanding.
So I've been in a relationship now for about a year and 3/4 of a year, so almost 2 years basically.
Okay.
But my previous relationship that I was in, I got cheated on twice,
Okay.
and it happened when she was studying abroad, and when I confronted her about it, she said that she didn't regret it, she only regret that I found out about it.
Okay.
So I'm just a little hesitant towards my current relationship now, even though I know she hasn't done anything to warrant me being hesitant or anything like that, and I'm not going to act out in any way because she doesn't deserve that, and I love her and I want to be with her. But I just can't help stopping that little voice in the back of my head that says, what if? Because
Is there any indications you feel that way? Like she kind of made you feel those thoughts kind of racing through your mind? Like to feel that she. Is there anything you want to talk about that you feel that way?
Well, when we first started dating, she had a guy best friend, and that's totally fine. She has guy best friends now, really good close friends with them, love them, great guys. But when we first started dating, there was a guy best friend that she had that I wasn't able to get to know very well because, according to her, he had told her that he was uncomfortable hanging around with other guys because he had emotional problems or mental issues, and he was worried that other guys would make fun of him for it, so that's why he only felt safe talking to her about what was going on in his life. I thought that was, for lack of a better term, bullshit, but I respected her wishes, and I didn't press to meet him, and I didn't press to do anything.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple weeks after we're dating, she asked me to make cookies for him. I'm like, you know what? I'm cooking with my girlfriend. I'm happy with that. All fine. We make cookies. They go to him. Whatever. I'm the one that got to cook with my girlfriend. Fast forward 7, 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's around my birthday. Her friend had gotten kicked out of the college that he was going to for academic integrity because he had not been going to class, he had been cheating on his tests, and he had been academically dishonest, basically.
Okay.
So apparently, her friend, the guy that she didn't want me to meet because was sensitive or whatever, had gotten drunk Snapchat her saying that he was only friends with her because he wanted to hook up with her. Even after I knew that he was sounding like a bad friend and I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
She had defended him the entire time, but then after this happened, she blocked him, turned to me and said, "You were right, I'm sorry. I'll take your advice and I'll leave you from here on out on any of my guy friends. You can have the final say." Which I thought was a great deal of trust, and I appreciated that. And I reciprocated and I said, you know what? The same way that I can see your male friends and the shit that they do, if I ever have a female friend that is close to me, you can have the final say. You can want to hang out with them. I won't block you. I won't prevent you from wanting to hang out with them. You can hang out with them, and if you think that you're getting a bad vibe from them, I will take your word from it. I will stop hanging out with them because I want to be with you and I don't want to risk anything.
Okay.
And that's essentially what she was saying to me about after this whole thing happened.
Okay.
So we had that good level of communication, basically.
Okay. So would you say? So what do you think this kind of insecurity is stemming from? Is there something in the past, maybe a past relationship that's kind of making you feel a little, kind of nervous, or I would say insecure about maybe your girlfriend having an affair or cheating on you? You think there's something that's stemming in the past?
So I did have a relationship before the one I'm in right now.
Okay.
And it was a girl, and she was the one that I ended up losing my virginity to.
Okay. That's very.
Yeah, so, it's pretty significant. We got together when I was a sophomore in my undergraduate program.
Okay.
We dated for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about a year and 3 months, 4 months.
Okay.
During that time, she wanted to get more education, certificates, stuff like that. So while she was still in her undergraduate program, I helped her apply for other colleges to help get more courses, more credits, more certificates under her belt.
Got it.
We were on vacation with her and her parents in the mountains, like in Mount Baldy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And after I helped pay for her tuition fee to register for classes, because she got accepted because it was a community college that she was looking at, she went to bed and she told me that I could keep using her laptop to register for classes for her.
Okay.
So as I'm looking online on the course to help find the classes that she had written down for me, her computer started lighting up with all the messages that had been happening when she was studying abroad the previous semester, the January term, so to speak. So this was in June, July of 2018, and then she studied abroad in January 2018.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but her laptop was only just now starting to update.
Okay.
So while I'm helping register her for classes and look up programs that she can register for, her laptop is lighting up with all these messages from a contact information with a name I didn't recognize.
Okay.
And the messages that were popping up were very suggestive, to say the least.
Got it.
So, naturally, being her boyfriend and at the time given full permission to use her laptop, I opened them. And as the messages fully loaded, I saw text message by text message, her asking, talking, and cheating on me after meeting up and planning to meet again for the next time to hang out with this other guy while we were dating. And this caught me completely off guard. I was shocked and I thought I was dreaming. So I took a photo on my phone and then I closed everything up, logged everything out, closed the computer, put it away, charged it, went to bed. And the next morning when I woke up, checked my phone to make sure that I wasn't hallucinating, I wasn't envisioning something.
Yeah.
But the pictures of the conversation were still there.
Yeah.
So we went home the next day and I confronted her about it. She came to my dorm room, we talked. I told her, how could you do this? I thought we were in a good place. Her entire family loved me, her grandparents loved me. I had permission from her grandma to use her parents' ring, so her great grandmother's emerald gold ring that everyone in her family had been fighting for. Her cousins had been trying to get, but I had permission to get it.
So in a sense, you kind of let yourself be vulnerable to this person, and
Yeah.
kind of let this person you trusted this person.
We had been together for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
almost a year and a half, and I thought that we would eventually go somewhere serious, and I thought that
Okay.
we potentially would get married.
Yeah.
And her family apparently all thought that, the same as I did, but she didn't.
Okay.
So after confronting her about, why she did this, she said that she was upset because I was too nice in the relationship, that she could never argue with me because
Okay.
I would always be able to explain how I felt and how it may have came across to her. So she would never be able to be mad at me for misunderstanding her because I was able to understand her before she even processed her feelings, and
Yes.
she would get mad because I was right all the time.
Mhm.
When I say right all the time, I mean that I was right in interpreting her feelings in how I would say something. So if I said, that water bottle looks short, if she were sitting right there, she would interpret that in a different way. So I would say, when I say the water bottle looks short, that means the water level is a little bit low and that it needs to be refilled. So let me go ahead and refill the water bottle for you. She would sit there and be, I can't even get mad at you because you know what I was going to say, and I can't get mad at that.
Mhm.
So all that happened, and then after I'm talking to her, after confronting her, she says, I quote, I was never going to tell you I was going to keep you around because you are such good husband material.
Mhm.
I don't regret doing it. I regret you finding out about it. So naturally I broke things off right there and there. And then dated around for a couple years. 2 years later, I met the current girl that I'm with, and things have been great, except for the whole guy friend that she had that I mentioned.
I'm just curious, did you talk about kind of this experience with your current girlfriend, like your ex kind of having
I did,
and
but
what did
it
she say?
wasn't.
I'm just curious.
It wasn't until after her guy friend revealed his true colors
Yeah.
that I said he would, that she really took it seriously.
Okay.
And that's when she said, you know what, you have full control over the guy friends I hang out with after you meet them, because
Okay.
I trust your judgment, because you are able to see things that I can't see. And I understand that. And that's why I also gave her full permission to control the girls that I hang out with, because she can see things that I can't see. Because she was born and raised a girl. I wasn't. She can see things that I can't. When we're out in public, like say at a bar, and there's a guy flirting with her, I can look at the guy, and if he's just, sitting there like, yeah, and his like hands are on his cup or whatever, I'm like, okay. But if he's sitting there talking, and he goes, yeah, and then he puts his hand on her shoulder, or
How
he
do you
puts his
feel?
hand on her elbow,
How do you feel? Describe to me. Angry?
he's not the one going home with her. I am. But if she thinks that he's a good guy, I can say,
You
look,
get scared. You're nervous.
I don't get scared. I just say, look, this is what he was doing.
Okay.
If he's in a relationship and he's doing this stuff, it just might mean he's comfortable around women. If he was raised with a bunch of sisters, or he was raised with proper parents that told him how to behave properly in public, it just might mean he's a little bit comfortable around people.
Okay.
But just be careful, just be wary, and I would like to hang out with him on our own before you hang out with him in private behind closed doors.
Okay.
I trust you first. So if you tell me it's okay, I'll believe you. I will believe you. And it will be in your hands. But I still can't help that feeling and that thought in the back of my head that says, yeah, but what if she kisses him? What if they have sex? What if they, And I can't help but blame my previous relationship about that.
Have you talked about that? Those conversations? Have you had those thoughts with what you're describing to me? Have you explained that to your current girlfriend, or you kind of?
I have, yeah.
What'd she say, just out of curiosity?
She understands.
She understands.
Because a lot of what I experienced is very similar to what she did.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into detail about what she went through because I don't know what she wants me to share, but
okay.
Long story short, and what I'm allowed to share is that her relationship was abusive, manipulative,
Okay.
that word, and her ex-boyfriend hung out with females the same way that she hung out with that one male that told them that they wanted to bang them.
Yeah.
So that's why after that all happened, she told me that she understands and gave me control over single guys that she hangs out with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Curtis, I think for us, our goal is to kind of change that thinking you have of girlfriend. Because what you're describing to me, it seems like you do have an open communication with your girlfriend. You do trust, in a sense, you're kind of telling me like, hey, I do trust her, but there's something just not necessarily what she's doing, but necessarily what I'm thinking. So it's more like we have to kind of change that process, not necessarily with your girlfriend, but just with you and your mind. Because what I'm seeing here is, it seems like you do, as a relationship, you do have an open communication with your girlfriend, which is very good, by the way. And you should be very proud of that, because a lot of people do have that, by the way. And something that you can kind of describe your needs and your emotions to her, that's also something that's very positive. So you should be very, very proud of that. Not a lot of people are in that situation, believe it or not. But what I'm seeing is, it's just kind of ultimately you, kind of that fear in the past. Now, maybe you can disagree with me or agree with me, that this might reoccur again, because you're thinking about maybe this can happen, because this happened to me with my ex. I'm afraid this might happen to me with my current girlfriend. Would you say that's true or not?
Yeah, I am worried that what happened with my previous relationship is what's going to happen now. And one philosophy that I've always heard about a lot growing up was those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So unless I do anything to actively change what happened in my previous relationship, the same thing's going to happen in my current relationship. And I know it's not set in stone, but I just want to do whatever I can to prevent that from happening. I love her. I want to marry her.
That's good. Yeah. I'm very happy for you. But I do want to let you know. Now, this is going to be a scary thought, but your ex, they're two different beings. They're two different entities. Your ex is not your current girlfriend. And I want you to accept that. Can you accept that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to take that in for a second. So for us, I think what we should work on is I think what you're kind of honing in on is kind of your previous relationship, as in you're thinking about your current ex and kind of like what she was doing behind your back, and you kind of found out, without her willing to know. I think what we should kind of focus is on just the positive traits you have with you and your current girlfriend. What makes you think of ways? I want you to create a list for me for next week of things that you feel safe, trustworthy of your girlfriend. Okay, your current girlfriend. Things that you feel like you can feel comfortable with, like you trust her with. I want you to describe those characteristics and describe it back to me next session. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, we'll kind of work with kind of where this is kind of really stemming from. Okay. I don't want to get that into today, but just for right now, I want you to tell me some positive traits, such as like, I like when my girlfriend does this. I feel safe around. I can describe this to her. Just can you give me at least 5 things? Okay. Can you do that for me? Okay. What I just described to you, though, I mean, it seems like you do have an open communication with your girlfriend where, you can kind of describe your true feelings. You can say, hey, at times I feel slightly nervous that, when there's guys around you, it makes me feel comfortable. So that's a positive trait. Okay, is there a way we can bring that confidence level, let's say from a 7, maybe push that to an 8 for today? Because, I mean, for her to kind of, to accept those feelings, it takes a lot of confidence from a guy. You need to describe those feelings. Now, a lot of men are kind of upfront when describing those feelings to their significant other.
I feel like we could have a more intimate date night. Instead of like the usual going out to dinner or seeing a movie, we could have a date night at home where we have a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
We're not watching a TV, but we're just sitting at the table side by side, and we can have a heart to heart where we talk about some of our insecurities, or we talk about something that's bothering us, something that we wish to work on in the relationship. Because one thing that we really agree on is whenever there's a problem in the relationship, it's not me versus you. It's me and you versus the problem. So if there's a problem of communication, it's not me and you hashing it out like, I hate you, you're not talking to me, you're not talking to me, you're talking too much, you're not. No, it's me and you versus the communication issue. So if the issue is we're not communicating enough, okay, does that mean that I'm not texting enough, you're not texting enough, am I texting too much, are you texting too much, are we not touching base, talking in person enough, are we talking too much in person? It would be a date night, drawing back to what you're saying, it would be a date night where we don't have any distractions, no social media, no television, but dinner and talking to each other about our relationship and what we can do as people to work together to make it better.
That's good. That's very good. That's actually great. I think one thing we can get back from that is, do you feel comfortable describing your personal needs to your significant other versus your current girlfriend?
I do. One thing that I'm not afraid to talk to her about is the truth. And if the truth is I want something to happen in the bedroom, then I'll talk to her about it and we'll have a discussion. And she knows she can do the exact same to me.
That's good. That's good. You know what that is right now?
Honesty.
That's trust with you guys. There's trust there. Did you not see that?
Yeah.
Which is good. So Curtis, I want for next week, like I said, just bring me a list. I want you to think of, not to think about those insecurities, but I kind of want to rewire that thinking. I want you to think of positive things that you and your girlfriend share. And I want you to focus on those things. I want you to bring it for me next week, okay? Can you do that? Okay.
I'll do the best.
Okay. Is there anything you want to, for right now, you want to kind of say that, it's kind of like you want to say that we didn't discuss? I know this is kind of...
I think I'm good, but thank you.
Okay. You gonna have that list ready for next week?
I will, all 5.
All right. Counting on that.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay.